The Vision sits in the dark, alone, in his family room, with the vibranium-coated lighter flicking on and off between his grasp. He cannot help but feel something boiling within him. The family's recent home incarceration has provided him with some time to think. He has spent that time thinking of his brother, Victor Mancha, about how Victor is alive and his son is not. He has recently ran through a great number of scenarios and applied those scenarios to a variety of philosophical and religious traditions. And still, this outcome is unjust. He is the Vision of the Avengers, and he has saved the world 37 times. The family commences their dinner conversation, and Vision explains that there is good news. Viv will be able to proceed with her schoolwork during their stay in quarantine. Viv will be sent recordings of each of her classes and will continue to receive her assignments. Iron Man assures the Vision that their current situation will not last longer than a few weeks. As soon as he figures out what has occurred and why, all will return to normal. Which is good, explains the Vision. A few weeks indoors would understandably cause any sane person to become at least somewhat stir crazy. For an animal, which is naturally born to be outdoors, the boredom would be unimaginable. Sparky becomes very curious around the front door and attempts to smell something on the other side and is instantly shocked by an energy discharge. After a call from Iron Man, Vision explains that there is no cause for alarm and no reason to deploy the Avengers. Previously, when Iron Man installed the enclosure, Vision adjusted Sparky's programming. Theoretically, he should be staying within the confines of the house. He will revisit it and conduct a thorough analysis on the animal later this afternoon. For now, he is listening to his wife play her favorite song. Virginia listlessly continues to press on the keys of the piano, barely bringing herself to sing along. Each time her fingertips touch the vibranium keys, she loses herself more and more to a calming metal. After spending time with his wife, Vision then goes to visit his daughter in her room. He is taken back to see her preparing for a prayer. She explains that she is praying for Vin's soul to be at rest. He does not know if there is a God. It seems unlikely. And she doesn't know if Vin had a soul. That too seems unlikely. So she first prays that there is a God. Then she prays that they give Vin a soul. And then she prays for his soul to rest. So Vision joins his daughter, and together they share a moment in the silence. In the kitchen, Virginia sees her husband and immediately apologizes. She explains that she did not know what to do. Revealing the used oil can within her hand, she reminisces on the time she first received the item, when George, of George and Nora, came over. They were talking, and George brought up the lighter, how he wondered how it still worked. Then, Vin used the can of oil to fix it, and then George left, and now, both George and Vin are gone. Vision grabs the can of oil from his wife and tells her that the lighter, a gift from Captain America, was made using a vibranium steel alloy, the same material used in the manufacturing of the Captain's shield. It is due to the unique property of the material that it still functions. Vision drops the can into the waste bin and finishes by saying, "It is a piece of metal that has lasted. There is no wonder to it at all." That night, Vision once again is alone in the dark, this time standing in Vin's room, remembering how things were, contemplating on how things are. He wonders what his son would be doing at this moment, if things were how they were. Most likely, he would be reciting some Shakespeare. The Vision removes his eye and presses a button, illuminating the room as it starts to play back a projection of a memory of Vin, eagerly trying to read his dad the newest excerpt that he found so interesting, and Vision, once again, telling his son that he has little time. Vin reads anyway. How like you, the young German, the Duke of Saxony's nephew, very vilely in the morning, when he is sober, and most vilely in the afternoon, when he is drunk. When he is best, he is little worse than man, and when he is worst, he is little better than beast. And the worst fall ever fell, I hope shall make shift to go without him. The hologram of Vin eagerly asks his father if he approves of his recitation. The vision's voice is heard stating that he is too busy to listen. He is sorry, but he didn't hear a word. It is the day, and the vision is prepared. He dons his uniform and stares at the front door before he makes his final decision. He slowly turns the doorknob and the door swings open, drowning him in the distorted light of the barrier. The translucent barrier mocking him as it silently awaits his intervention. He clenches the lighter within his hands and makes up his mind. He opens his palm and presses the metal against the barrier before him, causing a kickback of energy. He continues to press forward. The ground beneath his feet begins to crack and splinter, and the lighter within his hands begins to smoke and sizzle as the disrupted energy of the barrier sends more tangible energy crackling around him. Finally, the adamantium alloy has absorbed enough energy from the barrier, allowing the vision to pass through the momentarily opened pathway, leaving the dead metal behind. Nova instantly is alerted of the events and quickly runs to gather the Avengers. Nova tells Iron Man that the Vision was spotted flying away from his house in the direction of the prison that Victor Mancha is being held at. Iron Man tells him to start praying and to gather everyone as soon as possible. It may seem unlikely, but there is indeed a God above us. Someone to greet our souls when we leave this life. Someone to tell us we have done enough, that we have done what we could, that now, finally, we may rest. Unfortunately, robots have no souls. They do not rest, they simply end. And so, you see, some prayers are answered, and some are not.